We're closing in on the finish line of the Discoverer project. Craig and Brian have moved full steam ahead on the cabin build. Remember that the cabin wood we pulled from the boat was rotten and horrible, meaning we would be fabricating these pieces whole. The only use for the old wood was patterns. Our new pal John at Oasis Boatyards turned us onto a sweet building product called Coosa wood. It's a lightweight fiberglass board made 100% of resin and fiberglass. Although the resin-based Coosa is inherently waterproof, we are concerned that it needs more strength to stand up to the punishment of a full-time charter boat. Matt and Jamal undertook the time-intensive process of wrapping all the pieces in fiberglass mat and then gel coating them to a smooth white finish. Coosa wood was also used to build these support elbows in the rear transom and build out the pieces of the live well. The transom to floor connection has been a concern for us from the beginning. This area of the boat carries a lot of weight and stress on it, so we're taking extra steps to make sure it is super strong. Craig and Brian engineered this custom tackle locker. All the drawers are notched so there's no steel rollers or hardware. No hardware means no chance of hardware failure. In addition to the 4 drawers, Brian built a system of cubby holes to hold loose items like fishing tackle, drink cups, camera cases, and more. While he was at it, he also built a slick paper towel holder mounted to an open top box for even more storage. For the bathroom door, Craig came up with a nifty way to cut the vent. We were going for the old outhouse crescent moon, but instead settled on a shape a little closer to the heart. Jamal has stayed focused on the details, like the door and trim wood for the cabin. Matt has been working below decks. Here we see that he's rolled a fresh coat of gray bilge paint to help beef up the gel coat. This should keep the bilge protected for many seasons. You can also see that we've built a complete network of plumbing and electrical underneath the floor of the Discoverer. All the lines are run through the arch to keep them up out of the water. And of course, everything is butt connected and waterproofed. Now remember, the original boat had a single motor and a single set of throttles. This presents a challenge when building the new console. We have to fit twice as many gauges into the same space. Behind the console is a completely different story. Because we want to have an operational upper helm station, we have to use these cumbersome switching plates to connect both sets of throttles and both sets of shifters to a single line going to the motors. We pre-assembled as much as we could before mounting it inside the cramped engineering closet. Everything fit just barely. Trust me, you couldn't fit another bolt or washer in this closet. We worked at a breakneck pace to finish up as many details as possible before taking the trip across town to hang the motors. We ordered a brand new pair of Yamaha F-150 4-strokes from our buddies over at Tidewater Boat Works. Jamie and his crew at Tidewater Boat Works have hung lots of motors. This installation presented some unique challenges. The lip on the upper part of our transom bracket meant that the upper bolt holes had to use 2-inch screws, while the lower bolt holes required longer screws. This is the kind of clearance issue that you don't discover until the motors are actually in place. Craig and Brian were on hand to assist hooking up the power lines, fuel hoses, and the installation of the fuel water separators. After a long day of work and with a lot of help from our friends at Tidewater Boat Works, our pair of 150s are hung and ready to fire.
I'm caught in the grip of the city madness. I'm caught in the grip of the city madness. I'm caught in the grip of the city madness. I'm caught in the grip of the city madness.
After nearly 2 years of work, it was time to finally see the Discoverer in the water.
I'm a drifter, a lonesome drifter. Got no place to call my own no more. I'm a wanderer, a lonesome wanderer. Got no one to call my own no more. Got no strings to tie me down. Got no cause to hang around. What difference does it make which way I go? Got an empty feeling down inside. Still I need to stay alive. And who can tell what waits beyond this door? I'm a drifter, a lonesome drifter. Got no one to call my own no more. Got no strings to tie me down. Got no cause to hang around. What difference does it make which way I go? And who can tell what waits beyond this road? I'm a drifter.
2 weeks after the first water test, we were back to the St. Johns River for the final water test before shipping.
Well, I taught the weeping willow how to cry, and I showed the clouds how to cover up a clear blue sky. And the tears I cried for that woman are gonna flood you, big river, and I'm gonna sit right here until I die. I met her accidentally in St. Paul, Minnesota, and it tore me up every time I heard a drawl, southern drawl. And then I heard my dream went back downstream to Morton and Davenport, and I followed you, big river, when you called. Then you took me St. Louis later on down the river. A freighter said she's been here, but she's gone, boy, she's gone. I found her trail in Memphis, but she just walked up the bluff. She raised a few eyebrows and went on down low. Now won't you bat it down for Baton Rouge, River Queen, roll it on. Take that woman on down to New Orleans, New Orleans. Go on, I've had enough, done my blues down in the Gulf. She loves you, big river, more than me. Yes, I taught the weeping willow how to cry, cry, cry. And I showed the clouds how to cover up a clear blue sky. And the tears I cried for that woman are gonna flood you, big river, and I'm gonna sit right here until I die.
Next stop for the Discoverer project, Nosara, Costa Rica.